I returned to the city only a month later, a week after the official start of the lessons. I was struggling to understand something in that complex calendar of hours of Italian literature, English literature, French literature, geography, linguistics, etc. It was not like in high school, where it was enough for me to sit down to let the teachers take turns behind the desk. Here the students run and trample to every change of hour, stairs, galleries, lobbies, and courtyards. They push themselves out in the streets. They change neighborhoods, streets, buildings, only to move from one teacher to another. In short, a hell in which the energies to move around the classroom exceeded even those used in learning. The first course I took was the orientation course, advertised in several leaflets as taking place in an elusive lecture hall on the second floor of the cloister, with a somewhat precarious sense of direction. And without the slightest idea where I was going, it took me about an hour to go up and down several flights of stairs to crowded corridors and atriums, looking out for of windows overlooking cities and unknown panoramas. I didn't even have the courage to stop someone to ask for information, and my vision was already clouded with tears. I began to pray, an impending sense of panic threatening to send me straight to the station to take the train back home. In the end, for what I believe was the intercession of my God fund, I caught a classroom with the aid. I found a classroom with the right name on the outside plug. I went in and the course had already started. There was a talk on tenacity, commitment, new adventures, challenges with oneself. Nothing that frightened me. Also because from the comments heard around and from the half-asleep faces of the boys, I deduced that I had not come across a sequel of geniuses or particularly gifted young people. That pride of mine as a senior high school student in the early days served to keep me up in spirits and obliged me not to throw in the towel too soon. Here and there in the following days, I also met some of the high school friends still obsessed with choosing the right faculty to enroll in. We always greeted each other with a busy air of someone in the midst of a new, exciting life adventure. Then asking about me, and wondering about my choice of study, pretending to be interested in theirs. I enrolled in languages because I want to open up to the world, and studying foreign language could fulfill my dream of moving and working abroad. I said on one occasion, and I really seemed to believe it. Alas, how wrong I was. I thought that was enough to know English, to believe in the right to start a new life in England or in the United States, and the state that was just the basis on which to build something solid, valid for one's future independence. I put a lot of effort into it, and in a few weeks, after completing up to 10 different grammars, I reached the level of a recent major in language subjects. I passed the entrance tests in English and French with excellent results, and I was finally able to say that I was on the way to my brilliant university career. Certainly, my first year as a student would not have been the same without the invaluable help from my former middle school classmate, Sabrina, who took the trouble to contact me by phone to let me know about our common university choice. For me, it was like a bolt from the blue. I never expected the boss to knock on my door to facilitate my insertion into a world so dramatically new to me. Sabrina had learned through my mutual acquaintances with my mother that I had decided to start a university career with a degree course that was nothing short of anomalous for a lover of classical studies like myself. We talked for a long time. We met, and from then on we were almost always together at every lesson for the whole first year. Sabrina also found herself facing an unknown universe, yet she was already more practical and enterprising to me than me, who was almost embarrassed to be seen around with my pretty noir little priest there, the white shirt and throw almost heavy in the midst of that crowd of rowdy, unruly students with the air of adults on the playground. See you in the next video and I will continue the story.